Ever have NPCs idling around and not doing anything except dancing and sitting by the bonfire? I've definitely had that happen to me. Today, we're going to fix that with automation. Automation in Soulmask is ensuring your tribesmen are working diligently and not being idle. If you go to your clan tab, you will see things like their talents, their profession like Master Guard, and shortcuts for more details about that specific character. What we're interested in is go to work, which is that hammer hitting an anvil. Click on that and this will directly go to the character you chose. Taking a quick look on the left, we can see the character's proficiency in all types of work and weapon gear. Taking a look at our mask, we want to make sure we have perception enhancement and quality assessment checked off before we begin recruiting. Head to our barbarian barrack and start scanning for potential recruits. I'm sure by now you know how to deter barbarians, and if you don't, you need to deter them when they're below 20% health. All you need is some broth, make them drink it to start the recruitment process. We'll get some useful information like their basic stats, profession, their level, and the rarity of that barbarian. Rarity comes in different colors like purple, yellow, and red. Red is the highest rarity, and that is your best bet to roll an excellent barbarian. Be sure to look at their expertise again, as you will see barbarians with a novice or master labeled for that profession. Before we even start assigning our tribesmen work, we want to look at the proficiencies and innate talents. We will use Rosie as our test subject. Taking a quick look at her talents, we see she has some valuable work skills in green and yellow colors, and some bad ones in red we want to avoid. Her second one from the left is Origin Porter, which is a level 2 and excels in things like weaving, potting, and leatherworking with a growth proficiency of 60%. Another useful talent she has is Accelerate Leatherworking, which reduces time required for leatherworking down by 20%. One work assignment we want to avoid with her are things like mining, planting, and harvesting, as this has a minus 25 proficiency growth rate. Quick tip, the higher the level of talent, the better or worse that talent can help you or work against you. We'll keep things simple at first and dive in more with automation. Click anywhere in that box with the plus sign, and on the right we will see some categories like work type and work location. We'll start with Operate Workbench. As you might have already guessed, this means we want our tribesmen to work on a specific bench. Just below that, we want to give Rosie a work location. You may have a few or a dozen built-in items that can be interacted with. Examples on the Operate Workbench are the oil press, armor forging table, and the worktop. We know from our proficiencies she excels in leatherworking and weaving, so we will assign her to the tanning rack. Under Work Goals, we can see what's available to make at this time. By default, the quantity will be set to unlimited. I'll choose rough leather and ask her to make 50 of those. I'll hit Save Work. She will begin to start the process as long as there are resources in chests to begin production. If there are none, you'll be notified in the same spot as the ongoing notification. Once completed, it will be marked as completed with a check mark. If you want, you can delete, duplicate, or pause work progress at the bottom. When we assign our tribesmen to Wild Collection, we are asking our tribesmen to collect resources such as logs, stones, and thatch. Generally, you can use anyone for Wild Collection around your base. It's when you send them out to gather resources where we need to better prepare ourselves. Assign the work location, and for my base it's the Bronze Pit Bonfire. I'll ask Xena to collect a total of 500 pieces of logging resources. The storage location can be left on by default. You can also check off the diamond to ensure when the tools are broken, your tribesmen will automatically discard that tool. Make sure to have a chest with plant resources only allowed for harvesting and logging, and a chest for minerals when mining, so they know to store the items there. While editing this video, I noticed Rosie had no target to start logging, even though there are trees within my base. A quick fix to this is placing a marker on your map. It can be anything. Go back into their work assignments and then choose that new marker you just made. I have noticed my tribesmen are going to the same exact tree or rock when gathering resources, so this might be a bug. Our workshop collection allows us to expand outside of our base to gather resources away from home. To do this, we must have an awareness level 25 to unlock the logging yard, excavation pit, and the collection yard. For demonstrative purposes, I temporarily put my production items next to the base, so I don't recommend it as the objective is to utilize these items away from the camp. Now, wherever you choose to place these, we must bring these items: food, armor, weapons, and a bed for our tribesmen. By default, our structure is decayed, so make sure to build a bonfire protected by walls, floor, and a roof. When you reach your destination with your equipment and tribesmen, go to the work option, choose the workshop collection, and work location will be whichever building you crafted. Now, what is nice is that we can tell our tribesmen to collect specific resources and avoid other ones we already have an abundance of, like fiber and vine. Set the amount and let them begin collecting. Another useful option is setting the radius of your buildings. This is useful if there are potential threats in the area. Store items and withdraw items will go hand in hand. To store items, we will need to ask our tribesmen to withdraw from a specific source. I have all this honey I no longer want in the beehive and want to store it inside my food chest. The reason I want to do this, if my chief requires honey, he will not grab from the beehive itself and will wait until the honey is stored inside the designated chest. Like all jobs, you can have it set to default or request a certain amount to be put inside a chest or other building. I covered farming in another video, so be sure to check that out as well. You need to build a granary and assign a tribesman. Like all building assignments, look for the best suited farmer with the highest proficiency level. Make sure to build a farmland and choose the seed you want your tribesmen to start planting with. As long as you have the resources, your tribesmen will automatically begin planting and watering. I suggest putting your important resources like seeds, water, and fertilizer inside the granary, as your tribesmen will go back and forth between the granary and your farmland. Crafting table autoplay lets us directly assign tribesmen to a specific workbench. At any time there is work to be done, your tribesmen will go to it automatically. If you don't see the workbench you're looking for, then it's possible that there are other tribesmen already assigned to it. If you have a capybara pen or turkey coop, I highly recommend getting someone to manage your animals. You can get the breeding farm early game at awareness level 10. Assign a tribesman who's not doing any work and begin the breeding and slaughtering process. Camp upkeep allows one person to repair any damaged buildings and keep fires lit. You can also keep a torch unlit by manually going to that specific torch. Another way to automate your buildings is going into the crafting table and assigning how often you want to add recurring resources or gear. Right-click the resource you want to make and add to planned queue. Go into the queue settings, and here is where we can have continuous items crafted every so often. For my example, I want to have 100 tin ingots crafted every 2 hours. I've also added copper ingots and bronze ingots once my NPC has finished making the first set of resources. This is useful for crafting tables like the furnace, which can also boost your NPC's level simply by working. What are some useful ways you've found to keep your tribesmen busy? Let me know in the comment section. Hope you enjoyed it. Be sure to subscribe for more content, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.